Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best vegetable choppers.
Starting at number 5.
KitchenAid 5 Cup. Pretty much a full-sized food processor that's cordless, this KitchenAid machine is super convenient to move around the kitchen, grabbing ingredients from the cutting board or fridge and moving them to the stove or oven, or even outside to the grill, without having to worry about plugging it in. KitchenAid says the unit can chop 40 full onions on a single battery charge, and we didn't run out of electricity during any of our testing. This model did well with onions, nuts, tomatoes, carrots, and mushrooms. And despite its large capacity, its tall and narrow shape helped it thoroughly mince a small amount of garlic. We also used the faster of its 2 speed settings to puree tomatoes and grind peanut butter, and it did well with both. The only ingredient it had trouble with was green peppers. Like a lot of the other machines we tested, it didn't always cut through the skin cleanly and wound up crushing some of the pieces more than chopping them.
Coming at number 4.
Norpro Big Mouth. Chopping onions is one of the most grueling kitchen tasks, particularly for people who tend to get watery eyes, not to mention the annoying scent that clings to fingers. In testing, we found that this tool was particularly efficient at dicing onions. It takes one single push to turn a halved onion into a pile of neat, even dice. The Big Mouth works a little differently than the rest of the choppers on this list, pushing food through a stationary blade into a plastic container beneath. This can handle more food at a time than other manual choppers, and it makes more evenly sized pieces compared to the whirling blades of food processor-style machines. The downside is that you can only chop items into the specific sizes of the different cutting grids you have. This model includes a 1/4-inch slicer and large and small cube options, all of which are too big to get garlic or ginger down to a fine mince. We got great results with carrots in testing, and we particularly liked how well the Big Mouth slicing blade worked with mushrooms. It was also able to slice green peppers cleanly, though it took a bit of a smack to shove all the way through the blades. It had trouble, though, with soft tomatoes, just mashing them up, and with hard nuts, just smashing them to bits rather than really chopping.
At number 3.
Zyliss Zix Zic. You use this inexpensive manual chopper by tapping the button on top. Each press pushes the blade onto the food beneath, and rotates it a little bit to ensure more even texture. There are lots of similar models, but the Zix Zic's big innovation is its zigzag blade, which performs more cuts per push than the more common X-shaped blade. In testing, this model did well with onions, carrots, mushrooms, and tomatoes, though it had trouble getting through the skin of green peppers. There's a wiper mechanism that scrapes bits of food off the blade with each cut, which was very helpful with larger pieces of food but didn't keep small bits of minced garlic from sticking. The blade is completely covered with a plastic shroud when in use, and we felt very safe around this tool. You can use the Zix Zic directly atop a cutting board, or with the included cup, which keeps everything very contained. There's even a cover included so you can use the cup for food storage, but is quite small. Either way, the process is very simple, and cleanup is also easy. Everything comes apart and is dishwasher safe. We did note that the plastic parts of our test model got stained seemingly permanently by tomato juice. Nonetheless, this didn't affect performance.
Number 2 of my list.
Cuisinart DLC 2A Mini. Wherever the line is between food chopper and food processor, this little appliance sits right on it. It's surprisingly multifunctional for such a small, inexpensive machine, with a chop mode that uses the sharp side of the blade and a grind mode that spins it in the other direction, letting the flat edge crush and puree. The chop and grind buttons both serve as their own pulse modes, too, since the blades only spin with the button pressed down. We tested the mini prep with onions, peppers, carrots, tomatoes, mushrooms, and garlic, and it made short work of all of them. It chopped everything cleanly, though the size of the bits were somewhat uneven, especially when we wanted to keep things in larger pieces. Grind mode was surprisingly effective, creating smooth tomato puree and even peanut butter. You could use it to emulsify salad dressings, or make fresh baby food. On top of that, the bowl, blade, and lid are all dishwasher safe for easy cleaning. And you can choose from lots of different base colors, Try multiple retailers to find more options. Plus, they even throw in a tiny little spatula to scrape down the bowl mid-chop.
And number 1.
Kuhn Rikon Pull. Lots of manual choppers have you push down to cut food, but the pull chop uses a unique method to spin its blades. It's a little like the pull start on a lawnmower or chainsaw, only on a much smaller scale. After you load the bowl with food and seal the lid, you just pull the handle to chop. A non-skid ring on the bottom of the bowl keeps it from slipping, though you will need to use both hands at once with this model, one on the lid while the other pulls the cord. The rotating blades work much like a food processor, chopping foods more and more finely the longer you spin them. In testing, the pull chop worked much quicker than expected, whizzing through everything from onions and carrots to tomatoes and mushrooms with ease thanks to its razor-sharp blades. It sliced cleanly through bell peppers as well, when many of its competitors simply crushed or mashed them. The vertically stacked blades had a little trouble, however, when loaded with only a few garlic cloves, we found it helpful to hold the chopper at an angle to encourage small amounts of food to fall into the blades.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.